The flashing red and blue lights bounced off the pine trees, slicing through the calm of a quiet mountain evening. I stood on the porch of my cabin, coffee in hand, watching as two officers pulled up the winding dirt road. The smell of wood smoke mixed with the crisp air, and I couldn't help but laugh under my breath. It was happening again, all because of her. Her name was Linda Carver, but everyone around here just called her Karen. She was the self-proclaimed president of the Ridgeview Lake HOA, an organization that didn't actually have jurisdiction over half the valley, though she liked to pretend otherwise. My cabin sat right on that invisible line, the one she desperately wanted to control. The first time she came knocking, it was about my unauthorized construction. That construction was a hand-built dock my late father and I had made 20 years ago. The second time, it was about noise complaints. My noise was the sound of me splitting firewood at noon. And this third time, well, she went for broke. She called the police. As the officers stepped out of their car, I waved politely. Evening, officers. What seems to be the problem? One of them, a young guy named Evans, scratched the back of his neck. Mr. Walker, we got a call from the Ridgeview HOA president saying there's been reports of trespassing on this property. She said you broke into this cabin. I let out a breath of disbelief. Then a small grin crept onto my face. Oh, she did. Did she? Right on cue. Linda's shiny silver SUV rolled up behind the cruisers. She stepped out, heels crunching on the gravel, her oversized sunglasses reflecting the cabin like it was a personal insult. Officers, she called out, in that shrill, commanding tone, that man has no right to be here. This property is part of Ridgeview Estates. We don't allow squatters or unauthorized occupancy. Squatter? I repeated, setting my coffee cup down on the porch railing. Ma'am, this cabin's been in my family for 3 generations. My name's on the deed. She folded her arms and smirked. Oh, sure it is. That's what all trespassers say before they're escorted off. I've already reported you to the HOA board. We're pressing charges for damages and illegal occupancy. The officers exchanged looks. I could see Officer Evans trying not to laugh. Ma'am, he said carefully, do you have any proof that this cabin isn't his? Of course, she said, pulling a binder from her car. I have the property maps right here. She opened it dramatically, flipping through highlighted pages. See, Lot 42, Ridgeview Estates 8 designated as common recreation property. No one is allowed to live here full-time. I walked down the steps and pointed to her map. You see this dotted line here, Linda? That's the old county boundary. Ridgeview only owns up to here. Everything south of that ridge, including this cabin, the lake, and those 15,000 acres of forest belong to me. She blinked. That's ridiculous. You can own that much land. The corner of my mouth twitched. Actually, I can, and I do. I reached into my jacket and pulled out a worn leather folder. Inside were the original land deeds signed in the early 1900s by my great-grandfather, who bought the entire valley before Ridgeview Estates ever existed. I handed the documents to Officer Evans. You can confirm these with the county recorder. They're public record. Linda's face strained of color. That a broken bar? That's not possible. I spoke with the developers personally. They told me. I cut her off gently. They told you what you wanted to hear. Ridgeview doesn't own this valley. They just lease a small portion of it from me. The silence that followed was delicious. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Officer Evans handed the papers back to me with a small smile. Looks like everything checks out, Mr. Walker. Sorry to bother you. We'll make a note of this for future calls. Linda stood frozen, her jaw slack. I decided to twist the knife just a little. Linda, from now on, if you want to use the lake for your HOA events, you might want to fill out the proper rental request form. Her sunglasses slid down her nose as her eyes went wide. Rental form? That's right, I said, stepping closer. I've been lenient all these years, never charged anyone for using the lake, or the trails, or the docks. But since you've been so eager to enforce your rules on me, I think it's only fair I start enforcing mine. Her voice cracked. You can't do that. Oh, I can, I said calmly. And I will. Consider it a broken bar fare management. The officers left soon after, and Linda sped off, probably to hold an emergency home meeting. I went back to my porch, sat down, and stared at the setting sun bleeding across the lake. My father's voice echoed in my memory, this valley isn't just land, son, it's legacy. Protect it, but don't let bitterness grow in it." For weeks after that, Ridgeview Ho went silent. The flyers stopped showing up in my mailbox, and the no trespassing signs mysteriously disappeared. Then, one afternoon, Linda showed up again, this time, without her sunglasses, without her clipboard. "She looked at a broken bar human." "I came to apologize," she said quietly. "I overstepped. I thought I was doing the right thing for the community." I nodded. "I believe you did what you thought was right. But this land doesn't belong to a committee. It belongs to the people who respect it." She hesitated. "Would you, a broken bar, consider working with us? Maybe help us manage the lake properly?" That surprised me, but I could see she meant it. After a long pause, I extended my hand. "Sure, but let's do it the right way this time, neighbors, not enemies." From that day on, things changed. The Ho began cooperating with me instead of fighting. We built a shared community garden near the lake, held clean-up days, and even restored the old hiking trail my dad used to take me on. Linda became quieter, humbler, but she stayed involved. Every now and then, when I sit on the porch watching the reflection of the valley in the water, I think about how easily pride can destroy peace. But sometimes, when truth comes out, when people finally see the bigger picture, even the most stubborn hearts can change. And as for me, I learned that ownership isn't just about deeds or boundaries. It's about stewardship. The land gives to those who respect it, and in the end, that's something no Ho can ever take away.